So, inspire ownership, manage expectations, and understand that not every student's experience will be perfect, but most all will be valuable. That's the gist of what I have to share with you. My name is Leseliey Welch, and I teach in the Women's Studies Department. I teach 2 practicum courses for Women's Studies majors. One is on nonprofit management, community engagement, and feminist practice. The other is on women's leadership. In any year, through those 2 courses over 3 semesters, I facilitate or support about 50 to 75 individual student community partner relationships. And I've also directed a couple of global intercultural experience for undergraduate projects in Detroit. My interdisciplinary background includes women's studies, public health, and business administration, and I have my feet sort of in both worlds. So my full-time work is in local public health in Detroit. So all of those things inform what I have to share with you. I was grateful to have an investigating student learning grant in 2012, 2013 through CRLT, which gave me an opportunity to do some assessment of my courses. And so with that, inspiring ownership. What I found over the past 10 years in doing this is that when students are actively engaged in choosing their organization, their mentors, their supervisors, and so forth, it automatically sets a different tone for the course. So I have done it in the past where I organized all these organizations and I had people come and they sat on a panel, they talked with my students, and then, we had these matchups. That was very time intensive for me and for our community partners, and it ends up that you have some community partners with no student pairing, and you have others that have many students, who are interested. And so one of the things I tell my students in both my courses is that it is learning for your sake. I am not interested in what you memorize about what I say, what you regurgitate from your text, but this really truly is learning for your sake about your own leadership potential and the effect that you want to have in the world, and you use your practicum experience as a context in which to learn the things you need to learn to move forward in your career. So similarly, having a special project within an organization, I found absolutely makes a difference for ownership for students. So there have been organizations that engage students in their routine volunteering, right? And it may be a good experience, but the excellent experiences have come from students who have had ownership over creating a product or producing something at the end of the term in concert with their supervisor and their organization. So all of those things do require that you build in time for them to make those matches, build those relationships, and create those projects. And so what I do in that regard is coach, guide, and recommend rather than match and set up, and provide some tools for them to do that. Managing expectations, students and community partners managing expectations. My preference for this has been to do it all in writing. So everyone who takes a student from my course has, a little packet, and it has in there their roles and responsibilities, it has in there the course objectives, it has in there the course syllabus. It lets them know that they're expected to evaluate their student at the end of the term. And this includes being clear with them about the need to involve students in meaningful work that works towards their goals and objectives in their organizations. My students are not secretaries, they're not administrative assistants, so the goal is for both to benefit. So I think the other tool that goes along with that is having them build a mentor-mentee agreement or a site supervisor and student agreement. They do timekeepers, they do evaluations. And the expectation of a supervisor is different from a mentor. So for my nonprofit course, they're learning about nonprofit context. They have a supervisor. For my leadership course, they have a mentor. And so mentors need to understand that the expectation for that is different, and I can talk more about that if you're interested. And finally, every student's experience will not be perfect, but most all will be valuable. Once you've done all that you can do to lay a firm foundation to support them and to facilitate their learning, at some point, I think we do our students a disservice when we continue to construct artificially positive experiences for them to learn in. And so what I've been cognizant of is supporting my students to work through the difficulties that come with organizational context and informal relationships and political savvy and resources and challenges, rather than plucking them out of it or solving it for them. And in constructing evaluations for the course, student evaluations and their reflection assignments, make sure to ask questions to get at the value of their learning, even if it wasn't as perfect as they expected. So inspire ownership, manage expectations, and understand it won't be perfect. Thank you.